Check, 3, 2, 1. Hello, you guys there? Take your time, guys. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here waiting for you to start the music. Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, the podcast that takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Now, here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hello, welcome. Irritable Dad Syndrome, I am Darin.
I am Mike.
And we are very, very happy to be here on another fantastic episode. I think this is going to be a real winner.
It can be. Well, I
really think so.
You, the people that are watching the stream, which right now is exactly zero,
yeah,
will note that I am not drinking a Monster Energy drink. I am drinking the Vino. Mm-hmm. And that is because this is our second show of the day. We actually appeared on another podcast run by your pleasant,
yes,
nice,
yes,
engaging,
sure,
filthy friend.
Oh my goodness, we just did an episode. We were guests on an episode of a podcast called Textual Tension. And my friend Margie and her friend Rachel, they co-host this podcast, and it's about romance novels. And my goodness, these girls have filthy mouths.
Well, in their defense, it's not their mouths that are filthy.
Right.
They review
romance novels,
novels,
which is a stretch.
It's a stretch in and of itself. And they reviewed one that was about a vampire. That,
no. The woman on the cover of the book has a fang poking out of her mouth, which makes it appear that she's a vampire.
A lateral fang, like a fang that's going out at a 90-degree angle from the rest of her face.
Right. But spoiler alert, we find out that she's not a vampire, and they never explain the fang.
Which is a total load of bullshit.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, and the thing that is different from their podcast is we have Quacker the cursing duck who steps in. So whenever you say a word like you just did, bullshit, Quacker jumps in and quacks out the curse words. They don't have a quacker.
They don't edit diddly.
They don't.
And, I've been listening to our older episodes every once in a while, and sometimes I wish we didn't edit, but other times I'm very much glad that we do.
Well, my kids listen to this.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that we do. And by the way, I went over the weekend and I listened to 2 or 3 of our older episodes, and I don't know why anyone who's stayed with us. Maybe I'm being too critical of myself.
Yeah.
But I've listened to episode 1 again, episode 2, episode 10, you need to learn more words. And there were some shining moments that were good, but for the most part, I'm like, oh my God, it was painful. Painful listening to the older episodes. So anyway, if there are fans out there
you like the newer episodes, though. You still like the newer episodes. All right, good.
I do. And again, I'm being too critical. We were new. You and I, we've never done a podcast before.
We were nubile, young.
Exactly.
Was that a word? Nubile.
Yes.
I think
that's exactly what you're thinking, and that's the correct terminology. So
all right.
We were new. We're trying this for the first time.
Fresh from the womb.
Yes. The womb.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we're happy that you're with us. This is episode 29 of Irritable Dad Syndrome, and we're having a great time, and that's why we keep doing it. So over the past few days, I had an unexpected trip to Tennessee.
Yeah.
My mom had to go to the hospital. She's doing pretty good now. People who have asked, thank you for asking. So I went down to Tennessee to spend a couple of days with her in the hospital and make sure that I got her home, which I did. And while I was in Tennessee, the part of Tennessee where I used to live, Johnson City, Tennessee, something I noticed. Every place you go, you can get a ham biscuit. You can go to Olive Garden and get a country ham biscuit at Olive Garden.
Ham biscuit.
Get a ham biscuit, get some sweet tea. Everybody calls you honey. Okay. Everybody calls you sweetheart.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
A ham biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Is it literally a biscuit with ham on it?
God, you're stupid. Yes.
But it's like a sausage biscuit,
butter.
But instead of sausage, it's ham.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking.
How do you not understand ham biscuit? A biscuit with ham, it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
If somebody says
with peanut butter and jelly.
If somebody says they're going to give me an air biscuit, that's a whole different thing.
Why would somebody say that? That's not a thing.
People say that.
No, they don't.
People in my family say that.
No, they don't.
Here comes an air biscuit.
Here comes an air biscuit.
Yes.
All right, Dad, stand back. Here comes an air biscuit.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so we're in the South. Everybody calls you honey. Everybody calls you sweetheart, sweetie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm driving around and I hear a commercial for a plumber on the radio.
Okay.
And it was so funny. And this is sad because, you know, stereotypically, when you hear people with Southern accents, a lot of people think, you know, that they're not as intelligent as most other people.
Right.
But this particular plumbing company, and I shouldn't call them out because I'm sure they're very reputable plumbers, but it was Tommy's Plumbing. And if you need your drains cleaned, if you have a sink that's clogged, if you need new pipes fixed,
typical plumbing items,
go to tommysplumbing.com. And it's TOMMIES plumbing.com.
Okay.
I'm like, if it's Tommy, it'd be Y''S.
Yeah.
You don't change the Y to I and add ES.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you gotta show possession.
Yeah.
With the apostrophe.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got a kick out of that. Anyway, I'm sure the people at Tommy's Plumbing are fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're nice people.
Yeah.
While I was in Johnson City, one of the struggles that I've had, and we've talked about this on the podcast, is people who can't pronounce my name.
Darfin.
Darfin.
Darin.
I get Daryl, Derek, Dwayne, Damon, Damien. I've had Darfin. Honest to God, somebody called me Darfin. I got a new one.
Yeah.
While I'm at the hospital with my mother, the nurse comes in and she's asking my mom when she was born, is this her address, this and this? And she says, I have an emergency contact here. Darla.
Okay, that is definitely not a male name.
Not at all. I was literally taken aback, and I just told the nurse, I'm like, well, that's a new one. And she doesn't know what I'm talking about. No one has ever called me Darla before.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm going
where
to start calling you Darla.
I don't know where. Well, you call me everything else. So while I was in Johnson City, ran into a fan because normally every week.
Okay.
I know. Normally every week we have a Kroger story.
Yeah.
So while I was in Johnson City, I was at Food City.
Okay.
Went into the Food City.
Okay.
And I ran into David McAvoy.
Oh.
Old fan. Old friend of mine. And
he listens to the show.
For this story, yes. For sake of the story, yes, he's a big fan of the show.
All right.
Anyway, ran into him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What in the hell are you doing here?" You know, and he insisted.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us.
Exactly. So he insisted that we take a picture together, and it's fine. I don't turn down autographs or photos with my fans.
Okay.
So he takes a picture and he posts it on Facebook. And then friends of mine from Johnson City, Darin's in town. How come you didn't come and see me?
Oh,
and it started a big mess. And I told him, I said, I'm sorry. I came down I did not come down for entertainment purposes.
Right.
I'm sorry. The next time I come in, I will try to get to each and every one of you.
I'm in town on business.
Exactly.
Because that's the stuff that I've dealt with before.
Right.
I'm going to pretend that people care when I come home. It does happen from time to time, and sometimes I'm there because I have to get something done or have to do this or that, and I can't just go visit people, although I would like to. Other times, I freely am ready to visit people,
right?
And then nobody wants to see me.
And then nobody wants, exactly. So anyway, it was great to be in Johnson City, Tennessee again. Beautiful. I love the place. It'll always be a home to me.
Okay.
So to all my friends down there who are listening, I'm sorry I didn't have an opportunity to see you. Hopefully the next time I'm there, I will be able to spend more time.
Is Stump Woodley in Johnson City?
He is in Johnson City.
Did you see him?
I did not get a chance to see him.
See that Stump? He didn't even call you.
I'm sorry.
Did you call him?
You know what? I tried calling him, but he didn't answer the phone. He was hanging out with his friend Brian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the chat right now watching us. He's taking time out of his Saturday to watch you and
Stump.
do your stupid show.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have the time to come see him.
I said I was sorry.
You're not until I called you out on it, which is part of the problem.
No, that's not true.
It's part of the problem.
I think you're part of the problem.
All right. So...
Wait, I'm fascinated now. What's the problem? Why don't you tell me what I'm doing wrong here, Mike?
You've dissed Stump Woodley. You went all the way down there and you dissed him. You hung out with this other guy. Was it Bradley Cooper? Whoever it was that you met
hung
at
out
the,
with Bradley
in the Food
Cooper.
City.
Yeah.
And you didn't even call your buddy.
I didn't
hang
out with...
And you're going to use it as an excuse that you had some kind of family emergency.
I didn't hang out with him. I ran into him in the store when I was taking my mother to get her prescriptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't put the prescriptions part in.
Well,
I thought you just went down to the Food City to hang out.
Elaborate on what I did. I thought that, you and I have been doing the show now for 29 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought that you would just take me at my word. But no, I need to give you more information on what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, because
I'm glad
I have
did.
to clear this by you.
Well, some notification would be nice.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, the next time you go to Proctorville, just clear everything with me, and I'll make sure that you run into Jim Boyce or whatever.
If I ran into Jim Boyce in Proctorville, that would be a story for the ages.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your life?
Well, usually on the show, I talk about crazy people I met at Kroger.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at Food City, I was the crazy person. Because when I'm out of town, I'll do just whatever.
Yeah.
Outside of Food City, they had probably 20 pink flamingos that you buy and put in your garden.
Okay.
The big giant plastic pink flamingos.
Yeah.
And so I was going to take a picture and send one to you to ask if you wanted one. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, well, that's just weird.
Hold on.
Okay.
If the question is ever, does Mike want a pink flamingo? The answer is always yes.
I should have brought you one.
You should have brought me one.
I wish I had.
It would be sitting right there.
But when I walked out of Food City, there was this older couple, probably in their 70s.
Okay.
And they're standing there and they're staring. There's 3 or 4 different kinds.
Okay.
About 20 in total, with 3 or 4 different ones to choose from.
Yeah.
And they're standing there and they're trying to make a decision. I don't know if they're deciding, do I want one at all?
Are they all the same hue of pink?
Oh, yeah, they're all the same shade of pink. Right. Some are standing taller than others. Some are hunkered down more, whatever. Some have different colored bills. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so I walk out and I'm watching this older couple and they're trying to pick a flamingo. And I look at them and I say,
oh, no.
It's so hard to pick a flamingo. What I do is stand back and just let the flamingo pick me. And oh my God, the look on their faces. I wish I had recorded the look on their faces.
Oh my God.
Because they were like, what in the hell's wrong with you?
You ain't riding ahead, are you, son?
No. Being back in Johnson City.
Yeah.
It reminded me, there's a story that I've been wanting to tell.
Okay.
That I've never told on this podcast. It's become legendary.
Okay.
But I have a friend in Johnson City named Shannon Brown. Okay. And when Shannon and I met...
Is this male or female Shannon?
Male Shannon.
All right.
So the first time Shannon met me, he hated me.
Okay.
And I'm not...
Shannon, I completely understand.
I'm not entirely convinced that he doesn't hate me now.
Okay.
But he hated me when we first met.
Why did he hate you?
Okay, so...
When did you first meet? How old were you when you first met?
I was in 11th grade.
Okay. Yeah. So you were... okay. Yeah. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've had problems with people younger than that.
Right.
When I was like in middle school or whatever, I shared the story before about the fight. But usually by the time you hit high school...
Right.
Certainly the 11th grade, you've gotten through all that stuff.
Well, he and I didn't go to high school together.
Okay.
So he went to a different high school.
Oh.
We met at the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh.
Now, I went to the Rocky Horror Picture Show with a friend of mine. Uh-huh. He and I are there. He meets a girl, and he starts talking to this girl. Mm-hmm. And this girl that he's talking to has a friend.
Yep.
And I start talking to her.
Okay.
And so we're both talking to the girl. This doesn't usually happen to me. I usually don't meet girls, especially ones that like to talk to me. Usually like, hi, and they're like, hi, and then they walk away.
Yeah.
This girl doesn't walk away. She's actually talking to me, which I find extremely flattering. And I was confused.
Did you feel like you needed to call 911 or see if there was a guardian?
She's actually talking to me, yeah. So we're talking and everything's fine. At the end of the night, after the movie, the girl I was talking to, her name is Erlene, and my friend was talking to Anna.
Okay.
So I'm talking to Erlene. I'm like, well, I've got to go because my friend, his name is Raphael.
Okay.
It's his real name. I said,
where's his buddies Donatello and Michelangelo?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
I had to.
I said, Raphael's my ride home.
Okay.
And so I've got to go. And she says, oh, I can give you a ride home. And I said, okay. Okay, sure. So I told Raphael, I said, hey, she's going to give me a ride home. He says, okay. Yeah. So they leave. They actually leave. So I'm with Erlene, and she walks up to Shannon. She says, hey, Shannon, can you give Darin a ride home? Okay. What we also don't know at this time is they all came with Shannon, and Shannon liked Anna.
Okay.
So Shannon likes Anna, who's left with this guy, my friend Raphael.
Oh. Okay.
And now, he's pissed.
Yeah.
And then what makes it worse is he's got to drive his bonehead friend home.
Yeah, he's going to drive the wingman home.
Exactly.
The guy that just screwed it all up.
He doesn't want anything to do with any of this.
Oh, that is horrible.
They live on the way, way, way other side of town.
Okay.
They go to a different high school.
Yeah.
So he's like, fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will drive him home.
Through gritted teeth.
Yeah. He's got a Chevette. He's already got 3 or 4 people with him.
Yeah.
And so where am I going to sit? He puts me in the hatchback.
Okay.
Because all the other seats are taken. So I get in the hatchback with Erlene.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to move around and get seated and get comfortable or whatever.
Yep.
I guess he slammed on the brake or whatever, and I backed up while I was turned around or whatever. Anyway, my butt presses up against the window. For years, Shannon has said that I'm mooning people.
Yeah.
I wasn't mooning anybody.
Was your butt nude?
No, my pants were on.
Okay.
Completely. They were completely on and fastened and everything.
Yeah.
So he's convinced that I was mooning people, which I wasn't.
Okay, so there's an ass print.
There's an ass print. Yes. And Shannon swears that for as long as he owned that car, whenever it would get cold, the condensation would form on it, and my ass print would show up on his window.
You tainted the properties of the tempered glass.
He could not get the ass print out of his car for as long as he owned it.
Probably cut the value of it when he tried to sell it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, but it's a Chevette. You're not selling the Chevette for anything. So for years and years and years, he's told that story.
Yeah.
And he has a podcast. And last year I got to go on it and finally explain everything. I'm like, it was for a girl. I was in the car because I thought, this girl, and she and I ended up dating. We went to prom together and everything. Yeah. And I said, listen, when she offered me a ride home, I didn't know that Shannon was going to be giving me a ride home. I thought she was giving me a ride home. Had I known, I wouldn't have gotten the car.
Hi, this is Dave Lay. Mike and Darin either forgot what they were talking about or rambled on about something unfunny or inappropriate, and they decided to delete a chunk of the podcast. So here I am to cover the edit and hold this gem of a podcast together. We now return you to your show already in progress.
While I was in Tennessee, I told you I listened to a bunch of older episodes.
Yeah.
And,
so which ones did you listen to? What do you remember the titles or just random?
1, 2, and 10.
Okay.
And because I remember when we did You Need to Learn More Words.
Yeah.
I was like, that was a great podcast. That one was awesome.
Yeah.
That one wasn't awesome.
So I'm curious, what is it about those episodes that when you listen to it now, you immediately think this sucks?
I couldn't get a word out.
I'm just
repeating,
stammering and all over yourself. Okay.
And I think as time has built on, that we have gotten more structured.
Yeah,
we have we have a rundown now.
Usually,
yeah, we try.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and what terrifies me about this rundown,
right,
is that I somewhat remember some of these things, asking to put them on there or pointing them out.
Right.
I don't recognize.
You don't. Yeah.
Some of them. Well, I mean, there's one in here. Who pooped in the toilet?
Uh-huh.
And I know that's mine.
Yes.
Because we had a mystery poo in our toilet. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of kids. I think we've already talked about it in the break. So, we already pointed out we recorded another podcast with another group. And then we took a small break, and then we came to record our own podcast. And Darin noticed that there was a bunch of kids at our house.
Yes.
And I pointed out that just like a week or so ago, there were a bunch of kids at our house, and there was a mystery poo in our toilet. And that's, people forget to flush the toilet. I don't want to say all the time.
How do you forget to flush the toilet?
It happens. But this one had a poo in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the poo was one of those poos that reached up above the water.
It was
the
an
ones
iceberg.
It was an iceberg.
An iceberg.
Or a snorkel, if you would.
I don't know what that means.
And the thing that was striking about that, so when I first saw it, it was off-putting seeing it, and I couldn't determine why, other than the fact that there was a poo there. As I was washing my hands, deciding what to do with the poo, because I didn't want to immediately flush it. I didn't know if I was going to have to come out and accuse someone of doing the poo,
right,
or what. So I didn't want to destroy the evidence. I noticed that there was no paper around, under, or on top of the poo. So if you ever walk into a toilet, into a bathroom, and you see a poo in the toilet and there's no paper, your mind immediately says someone didn't wipe. Okay.
Right.
And not even the test wipe, not even the one that, because sometimes you have a clean poo.
Yeah.
And you do
it called the mystery, the ghost poo.
Yeah. You do a quick wipe. There's nothing on there. You're like, I got away scot-free.
Right.
Then other ones, it's like, it just keeps going and going and going until you develop a condition. Okay. Until you need to see medical attention. But this one didn't even have the test wipe. That's either you forgot, you don't care, or you have way too much confidence in your anus. And I don't think it's the last one. Okay.
Confidence in your anus.
Confidence in your anus.
Okay.
I have a feeling that's going to be a title.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, and I was confused. So I came out of the bathroom and I flushed it.
Right.
I don't want to see it anymore. But I was like, who pooed?
Mm-hmm.
And then I get just a sea of faces just completely, I don't know who pooed. And I was only asking my family. I don't want to ask the kids. I'm not going to be the dad in the neighborhood where the kids go home and say, he was questioning us about who pooed in the bathroom and whose poo is this? I don't want any of that crap going on. No one would cop to the poo. Mm-hmm. So I still don't know who let the poo. And during our break, in between the last podcast and this one,
right,
you ran into a situation where there was a sopping wet entire roll
of toilet paper
right, on the floor next to the trash. Not in the trash, next to the trash. Clearly, if an entire roll of toilet paper is wet, something untoward has happened.
Yes.
Why did the entire roll get in there? Were you handling the entire roll? Were you expecting to just do one huge wipe and then drop it down in there? Were you juggling in there?
Right.
What were you doing?
Which you need more than one.
That led to that roll going in the toilet. And then you pick it gingerly out because
I'm just going to put
something's
that in the
happened.
corner.
And I'm going to put it in the corner next to the trash can, not in the trash can. Mm-hmm. And then you leave that room and you say nothing to anyone. And you do that while there's a guest in the house. And the guest is the next person to go in there and see what has happened.
Right.
That's not right.
No.
Okay.
Right.
So the explanation that we got, or that I got while you were I don't know if you heard the explanation, there was a kick that took place in the bathroom. A practice side kick or back kick.
It's not like you have a football field size.
No.
This is a hall bathroom.
This is a small, it's like, people will call it a half bath.
4x8.
Yeah.
Probably feet.
Yeah. And someone was in there practicing kicks. I like to think it's the crane kick from Karate Kid.
Yes. Yes.
And it led to this entire roll going into the toilet, which is all perfectly acceptable in my house.
Yeah.
What's not is taking it out and then putting it next to the trash.
Right.
That's the part of the logic of the story that bothers me.
Just like, why put it next to the trash?
Yeah.
In the trash. Well, I found out just like the last week or so, a couple of years ago, we had some friends over and their kids were over.
Okay.
And had a big
a hootenanny?
Yeah, we had a big ass party. Yeah. Big whoop-de-woo. And we cooked out and had the whole thing, and so there was my kids and two other kids and two other adults. So after they had left, our upstairs bathroom was to the rim, almost like
Danger Will Robinson.
Exactly. Almost. And this is like the most disgusting podcast because we're talking about toilets overflowing and poop and that thing or whatever. So it was the water level was almost all the way up, almost over.
Okay.
So it's like you couldn't put the plunger in.
Because it's going
to overflow.
Yeah.
So you've got to get an old cup or a bucket or something and get drain water out before you can start plunging.
Yeah.
Well, I'm plunging this son of a bitch for like forever.
Yeah.
And it will not drain.
Yeah.
And so we had, we got water out of it and then it rises back up and everything. So I didn't know if it was one of the kids. One of the visiting kids was over because neither of my kids claimed it.
Yeah.
And so and I'm not going to accuse. It's like, hey, your kid came over and destroyed my toilet. Anyway, I find out like 2 years later.
Yeah.
It was one of my kids. Turns out that my youngest son, Cameron, and I'm totally going to sell him out here, used to love stuffing toilet paper down the back of his pants and leaving a tail.
Okay.
He would have like a good 4 or 5 feet of paper hanging out because he wanted a tail. He'd run around and then he'd stuff all of that. Yeah. Well, apparently he stuffed almost an entire roll of toilet paper into the toilet.
Okay. Have you ever fist plunged a toilet? You ever been that desperate?
No.
I've done that once.
No.
I've done that to the toilet that we were in question.
No, gross.
I've been in a situation, and the water was. It wasn't. I'm not going to say it's clean.
The worst episode of our podcast,
but there was no plunger available.
Yeah.
Horrible things were about to happen because the water was going like that. I panicked and punched in the toilet, and you do it with enough force and you do it the right way. Because basically you're shoving the water back up and
all Chuck Norris on it.
I went Chuck Norris on it and fist plunged it.
That's disgusting.
By the way, fist plunged a toilet. Title.
It's disgusting. Well, listen.
Yeah.
When I was listening to previous episodes, there was something that we did like the first 4 or 5, 6 episodes.
All right.
And that was we tried really, really, really hard to get Saxsquatch to be a guest on our show.
Yeah.
Saxsquatch is now on tour
with John
Oates.
Yeah.
John Oates.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is on tour with Saxsquatch.
They do Maneater, and there's a cover for it where he's holding John Oates. It's like a huge Saxsquatch holding John Oates over his mouth like he's going to eat him. It's like, I don't know if that's awesome. Like, it's from Saxsquatch's point of view.
Right.
That's going to be the most awesome thing ever. Right. From John Oates, it's got to be one step before you jump off a building or you know.
John Oates. Yeah. But it's like you look at the bottom of the thing. He's like going on a tour or having a special thing.
Yeah.
Daryl Hall.
Yeah.
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar?
So
well,
Michael,
of course, Sammy Hagar is going to do that.
Sammy Hagar can do anything.
He'll do whatever.
He's badass. You know? Michael McDonald and a couple other people. I'm like, so we've got to try again. I think we need to jump back in and try again to get Saxsquatch to be a guest on our show, especially since I've learned how to say it, Saxsquatch.
Yeah.
But we've got to get him on the show.
I'd say that our window is passed. Now that he's working with John Oates, our window, he's like reached that.
I think if he's willing to work with John Oates, then he's open to if he's open to anybody. So anyway, Saxsquatch, please be a guest on Irritable Dads.
Do you want to do a spot? Do you want to do a spot to ask him right now?
Sure.
Because that was one of our best bits. I think in the beginning was the thing because you couldn't say it.
Okay,
Saxsquatch.
Okay. We're going to do this.
We're doing it.
Hey, this is Darin.
It's Mike.
And Saxsquatch. Seriously, we want you to be a guest on Irritable Dad Syndrome podcast.
Dude, you got to be a guest. We called you out on I think it was the second episode. We called you out multiple times. We want you to be on the show.
And it's because we're big fans of you.
Yeah. And so are our friends on Facebook because they keep linking us to videos of you on there. And we're already following you on there. And now we see that you're touring with John Oates. And all these other people. Where's the Irritable Dads in this equation? Where are we?
I don't know.
I mean, we've brought 1, maybe 2 likes to your page. One of them's mine. I know my wife has liked your page.
Yes.
I don't know if you've
liked the page.
Darin. So there's 3 that we know of right there.
Yes. So please, Saxsquatch.
God.
Saxsquatch, please be a guest on our show.
Please.
Well, we just lost.
It'll be easy. We can do it over Zoom. You don't have to like fly from the thing.
No, I figured he would just call us up on the phone.
I don't want a phone. What is this,
schmoan.
1963?
Yeah.
He's going to get Marge to connect us over. Just get on the Zoom.
Sarah, hook me over to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
You know, and you don't have to. I mean, I guess you might want to, the Saxsquatch thing is your whole thing. So you may want to wear the whole thing. I don't know.
Right.
But you don't have to. You can do no video and just voice. It's fine. Just come on our show.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's our push.
That's it.
There you go. Fantastic. All right. So as you guys, for people who listen to the show know, Mike is a fan of the John Wick movies. I am not a fan of the John Wick movies.
We do this again.
And for this, because of this, Mike feels that he and I need to have couples counseling because he can't let it go that I don't like this movie. Now, I watched last night The Greatest Showman on Disney Plus, and it was absolutely amazing. Now, Mike refuses to even watch it.
It's a musical.
But they don't sing the dialogue. So there's the difference. I don't like musicals where they sing, "Oh, I'm gonna go downstairs.
Yeah, that's a
hey,
musical.
I'm recording the podcast."
That's a musical. The only musical I like is Spinal Tap.
That's a good musical to like. You don't like Grease?
It's not even really a musical. It's like a mockumentary.
Yeah.
No, I don't like Grease.
Okay.
I mean, I got pissed off when you said that. I don't like Grease.
Yeah, you're
it's one of the original musicals I don't like.
Okay.
I don't like Little Shop of Horrors with Steve Martin and who's the guy?
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Because it's a musical.
Okay.
If they took out the musical bits, well, with the exception of Steve Martin's Dentist song, I think that's hilarious.
Say, come on, man.
I
Steve
like
Martin.
that.
Okay.
You know, but
you didn't like the Frozen movies?
they're fine, but Disney movies, they're not really musicals. I mean, I like The Lion King.
Yeah, that's a musical. They break out into song occasionally. Anyway, so we want to know, fans of the show, should Mike and I have couples counseling?
Fuck you. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why exactly. All right. No amount of counseling is going to get us past John Wick and musicals.
Okay.
That's to our core. All right. I have a theory that in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see the value of the John Wick movies. You'll never admit it to me. That's the horror. That's the tragedy of this, is that you'll never admit to me that you like them. You're the kind of weirdo that'll hide in your basement and secretly enjoy them, and you'll never admit it to me.
Right. Okay. I'll make a promise to you right now.
Yeah.
Okay. If I ever lose my mind.
Yeah.
And decide that I enjoy these movies, I will. You're the first person I will come to
and
and
say,
say, Mike.
This.
Now I'm talking.
Okay.
I will come to you and say, Mike.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I now like these movies.
I'm gonna clip that.
Okay.
Now here's the deal. Have you seen Desperado?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you watch it again?
Why don't I watch it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is it's like the same thing as the John Wick movies. It's the same thing. It's style over everything else.
Not to the extreme of the John Wick.
The only thing that's better than a little bit of Desperado is a whole lot of Desperado with glass punching. And
here we go again.
And dog rescuing. Well, he didn't really rescue the dog.
No,
that's kind of how the whole thing started. My point is, A, we do need couples counseling.
Yes.
And B, and I know I'm going 1 and 2, and I'm saying A and B. You will like the John Wick series at some point.
No, I won't.
All right.
I guarantee you I won't.
Is it okay? So one of our listeners recommended that you see Shoot 'Em Up, which is basically John Wick without John Wick.
Okay.
All right. It's got the
Paul
guy Paul Giamatti, and
great actor,
and it's got what's his face, Clive Owen.
Okay, both of them are capable of acting, so I think I would probably like this movie.
Okay, all right.
Keanu Reeves cannot act his way out of a paper bag.
Okay, we need to move on because
he's a horrible actor.
This is going to end in violence.
I like him.
Yeah,
he's a horrible actor.
It's going to end in violence.
Okay,
all right.
But listen, you won't even agree to watch The Greatest Showman, so you're the one being difficult here.
Not that I won't.
I won't. Seen the first.
What's it about? What's it about? What's The Greatest Showman about?
It's a story inspired by the life of P.T. Barnum.
I don't like P.T. Barnum.
You don't know anything about P.T.
I know that he did something with a circus, and I don't like circuses.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm anti-circus.
What? How can you be? That's like I'm anti-America. I'm anti-cheese.
Because you're seeing these animals that are there against their will. The elephants don't want to grab the tail of the elephant in front of them with their nose.
Elephants in this movie were treated very, very
But in
kindly.
Circuses or circi,
CGI. Circuses is the plural
circuses.
For circus.
They're not.
Circi.
Took advantage of people with issues, people with like the bearded woman, follically challenged women.
Follically challenged.
They just terrible things. And then you'd say, okay, we're going to make this movie about this terrible thing. We're going to make it a musical. It's like, it's 2 strikes against it.
Yeah.
Now.
Great music, great choreography.
Hugh Jackman.
I
like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
But I like him when he has blades coming out of his fist.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great movie.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
Name a good musical.
Oh God, Frozen, Grease. There was.
Do you like Grease?
I do.
Okay,
it's not my favorite.
You've never talked about it before. You've never.
There's lots of things I like that I've never talked about.
When we're talking about like the Avengers, you never said, "Yeah, I thought it was great when Captain America tightened up his shield." But do you remember in Grease when he hiked up his jacket and he lit the cigarette or whatever, and he said, "Hey, sugar." Or whatever.
He's just saying, this is all so weird. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Sandy, come over here. Hey,
so
Sandy.
I'm in line at the bank. You know, you need to, that type of thing. You never brought it up.
You
never brought it up.
There's lots of things you've never brought up.
What?
I don't know. You haven't brought them up.
I'm just saying. I think you're pouring on the musical pretty heavily.
If you and I
here.
had known each other for 45 years,
okay,
and like, you know what, you never brought that up.
Yeah.
Then that would be a thing.
Okay.
All
right. Okay. Name it. I want to hear another musical, not an animated thing. I'm genuinely curious because I may have accidentally
as
liked
soon as
one.
you put me on the spot, now I can't remember any musicals.
I may have. Now I never saw Chicago. I remember Bess got excited about Chicago.
was a good movie.
She went to see that with her friends because I didn't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
She just knows I hate musicals.
The producers.
We went to see a movie.
Mamma Mia was a great musical. About ABBA.
We may end this podcast right now.
Fine, because I'm done.
We went to see something, and she didn't tell me it was a musical, and I found out in the middle. It was the Mary Poppins sequel. Because when they started doing the show tunes about something...
Wait. You went to Mary Poppins and didn't know it was a musical?
No.
God, how stupid are you, Mike?
I thought it was about a lady with an umbrella. She starts singing and
I can't wait to see. Is she going to open it? Maybe she'll close it. How come it's not raining?
She starts singing and toe tapping, and I remember looking over at Bess, and she looked over at me with that. She knew it was a musical. Didn't tell me.
I'll tell you, the sequel to Mary Poppins was way better than the original Mary Poppins.
Okay.
The original Mary Poppins bored us to tears.
Kids hated it.
Yeah, the original Mary Poppins, sorry. Dick Van Dyke was incredible. He was really, really good in it. But
now, there is a musical series I think I would have liked because John Oliver had a snippet of it on his last show.
I love John Oliver.
Cop Rock.
Yeah.
He had a few snippets of it, and one of the snippets that he had was a guy that was involved in a child what's that called, where they take kids and they sell them? Child trafficking ring, and he had a musical number, and they basically had it on the show, and John Oliver's like, this was on a show. This was a man singing about child trafficking.
Yes.
It exists. You can go look at it right now. And I was like, that's amazing, because he sings it he sings a 3-minute song to the cops about how he's selling kids, and they just listen to it.
So Cop Rock was created by Stephen Bochco, who also, I'm telling you, Hill Street Blues, possibly the greatest cop show of all time. And NYPD Blue.
NYPD Blue was the one that was famous because they said ass on TV.
Well, yeah, and they showed their ass on TV.
Really?
Yeah, you could see, that was the thing, and it was when I lived in Tennessee. Yeah, it was on ABC, and so the ABC TV station had protesters who came and didn't want that on our TV. And it was.
Well, it came on at like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, didn't it? Or was it 9 or something?
Yeah,
it was like late enough.
I think it was on at 10.
Yeah, 10 o'clock's a good hour for ass on the TV. If you're gonna do it, 10 o'clock is the ass.
It's a good hour for ass on 10 o'clock on TV. Be there. Yeah. So, and for some reason, and I don't know why, but you were mentioning that whatever algorithms or whatever, you click a video on the YouTube, and then you watch one Family Guy clip, and then all these Family Guy clips come up. For some reason, and I didn't do a search, but NYPD Blue clips are popping up all over my YouTube. And I didn't search Dennis Franz, Jimmy Smits. What's the redhead guy's name who went on to CSI Miami? I didn't look up any of those guys. And now all these NYPD Blue clips are coming up on my YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, you're seeing the chat over
Stump Woodley. No, it's not Volleyball Anna. It's the Anna that I mentioned a couple weeks ago at the pool.
12 Angry Men. Was that a musical?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Schindler's List was not a musical.
No.
Rocky was not a musical. Although he tried making a Broadway show of Rocky.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'll say this. I'll go out on a limb. I don't mind if they take something that's not a musical and turn it into one to be funny or just for fun. Like, because there was an Avengers one too. I don't know if you remember that.
An Avengers musical?
Yeah, and I think it was at the Taft. There was a play/musical about the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would go see that because there's nothing better than seeing Iron Man suddenly break into song right before he shoots his blasters.
So this just in, breaking news. My friend.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. There is a musical that I think is awesome.
Okay.
And I did not know that it was a musical.
South Park, the musical?
We were sitting right here. Actually, it's on camera now. So we were sitting right here, me and Bess, and we were watching it. And it became clear that it was a musical. And she's very slowly looked over at me. And I looked over and said, okay, they got me. This is a good one. Rocket Man. That's a good
Elton
musical.
John.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
that.
good one.
Okay.
I really liked that one.
Did you see Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't consider that a musical.
Okay.
I don't consider. Okay. It's very small difference. It's distinct, but it's very small. I don't consider like rockumentary or like, biopic stories about bands to be musicals. So Bohemian Rhapsody kind of is, but it's because it's about a band. And I realized that Rocket Man's about Elton John. It's about music, but it literally became a musical. It was like they're talking about something and they just start singing it and it becomes like one of the songs that is known. It was a song that was written to be a song, and it's a very,
there's a song but it's written to be a song.
No, it's specific. Here's the deal.
They didn't start out as a novel, and then it was like, I don't have enough.
If it's,
I'll just make this a song.
If it's some jackwad standing there and he's having a conversation with some other jackwad and they start singing the conversation, that pisses me off.
Right.
But Elton John already wrote those songs. They are already songs, and then it's a biopic about his life. And then when those songs were written, it becomes part of the dialogue, and then it breaks into a song with the people that were involved in it, and it kind of gives vision to what that original vision was like.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
No.
Bohemian and Bohemian.
But this is the most excited you've been in weeks. So
Bohemian Rhapsody is a biopic about a band. So of course there's going to be music, but they didn't write that music for this biopic. They wrote the music because they wrote the music and they're awesome.
Right.
And it's about them, so they're going to have the music in there. That's not a musical to me.
Okay.
Elton John's is, even though the music is still there for the same reason, but they wove it into the story of his life because the songs and the lyrics reflected what was going on in his life, which I thought was genius. So I consider it, hold on, shut up. I consider it to be a classical musical, an actual musical. If you were putting it would be that, and it would be one that I would point to and say, that's a good one.
Well, then by that rationale, you would love Mamma Mia, because that's what they did with the music of ABBA. You just said it's genius. The way they did it, everything, blah, blah, blah. You spent 20 minutes talking about how it's so genius.
Is that what it is about ABBA? Is that what it is?
Which
one is it? ABBA, they wrote, it's not a biopic about ABBA.
No, it's not a biopic about ABBA, but it's a story, and they use the music of ABBA to tell the story.
It's not the same.
God, you're such a commercial.
It's not the same.
You act like you're so much older than I am.
It's not the same.
Okay, well, whatever.
And before any of you out there in Twitter land and Twitch land and everything else point out that I am a U2 fan and technically Rattle and Hum is a musical, suck it. It's not. It's a rockumentary with the band.
Stump Woodley. The song was written to be a song. That's got to be a new T-shirt.
That's a good.
I mean,
that's a good point.
That's like the dumbest and smartest thing you've ever said. The song was written to be a song.
Yes, I think that's the core of it for me. That's the core of it.
When you sit down and try and, I guess you could write a poem and then convert it to a song. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never written a song.
If you're trying to make something a musical that's not supposed to be a musical, it seems artificial. That's why I don't like musicals.
Okay.
It seems artificial. Rocket Man gets a pass on that because I think they're dramatizing what was going on with him at those different times, or at least pointing to the inspirations.
Right.
That's different.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay. I'm still saying you would enjoy the hell out of.
Hold on.
You would enjoy The Greatest Showman from the start, from the second that thing starts. It's
musical,
boom.
bad. Circuses, bad.
What do you think of Monty Python's Flying Circus? Were you a fan of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Those were hilarious. There was no singing in Holy Grail, except at the end. Always look on the bright side of of life.
Yeah,
oh no, that was Life of Brian.
That was the Life of Brian. Yes.
What was the musical?
Which I want that song played at my funeral. By the way. Yeah. Breaking news: Ann Wiseman, a fan of the show.
Yeah.
She's a fan of yours.
Yeah.
And
a fan of mine, like of the show. She likes
she's
me
a fan
better
of the
than
show,
you.
and she's a fan of yours.
Boom.
And she's a fan of mine. If you'd let me finish, she's a fan of us.
Okay.
She sent us this great. Remember, like episode 2 when you had that a box of topics to talk about on your podcast?
Pod deck. I got them right over there on that.
And it was worthless, absolutely worthless. This is worth its weight in gold.
Okay.
These questions that she sent, which, Anne, thank you so much, but we're not going to get through all of these. But one question, what if my dog only brings back the ball because he thinks I like throwing it?
Yeah.
But which letter is silent in the word scent? The S or the C? Do twins ever realize that one of them is unplanned? Well, that's just horrible. Yes. But this brings up something that I was going to... These are great. These are absolutely great. But it brought up something that I was actually going to talk about on our show today, was a new segment called...
I love it when you bring you bring up new things on the show live as we're going. This is wonderful. This is like the pilot when you take off saying, guess where we're going?
I forgot the name of the segment that I created. Things I've noticed.
Things I've noticed.
With Darin.
What's the deal?
With these words? I noticed that the word long is shorter than the word short.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
it's also shorter than the word succinct. Yeah.
Suck what?
Synced.
Oh, okay.
Like yeah.
I also noticed that the word odd has an odd number of letters, and even has an even number of letters. Okay. So there's some things that I've noticed, and this has been things I've noticed.
Wow, it was over right the moment I got the point of it. It was done.
There is one segment that we've done in the past.
Just Stop.
Called Just Stop, but I don't have a Just Stop for this week.
Damn, I picked the wrong one.
So you picked the wrong one to tease.
Beep. Cut.
There's a segment that we have done in the past called Duh.
Or if you're French, de.
Duh. And this segment this week was brought to us from a viewer or a listener.
Okay.
Lisa Coleman Ferguson sent us a picture of a coffee mug.
Okay.
And on the bottom of the coffee mug, it says, may get hot in the microwave.
As opposed to cool it down.
Exactly. So this has been Duh.
Some of these episodes, folks, are beautiful in their destructiveness.
Our announcer, Dave Lay.
This is my favorite. What you're about to say is my favorite thing of the rundown.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Not only is he our announcer, but he's also a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
And he listens like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Okay.
We'll get it. Darin, I really liked when you were talking about the kids showering in the backyard. Okay, that was a month ago, but thanks. He's got a fantastic idea.
I love this
and
idea.
We really need to do this.
We're going to do this, and we're going to film it.
So Mike and I were talking about the Kroger down the street from our house where they have a bar.
Yeah.
And I was talking about, Mike and I going and just getting completely schnackered.
Oh, yeah. Or schnockered.
Schnockered.
Yeah.
Knocking stuff off the shelves and flirting with the lady in the floral department.
Yeah.
And Mike can ask people, if you want to touch my cheese? Touch my cheese, So Dave suggested that we throw a bachelor party for somebody in the Kro-bar.
Yeah.
At the bar at Kroger.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% into this.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you live in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Dayton, in Indiana, if you're going to get married and you're a guy, if you want, Mike and I will throw you a bachelor party in the bar at Kroger. Dave Lay will be with us. Maybe we'll get my buddy Chris Michael, my neighbor, to show up.
Yep.
Chris Hughes. No, he's not welcome. He's banned from the show. We are going to. Do we have to get permission from Kroger to do this?
I think, and we're not going to pay for shit, are we?
No.
Yeah.
No,
we're not paying for anything.
No.
We're just going to be there.
We're just going to be there.
And we're going to film it.
Yeah, it's up to the guy.
Yeah,
the guy's,
okay.
Whoever's getting married will flip the bill for this.
Yeah.
But we're going to be there.
Yeah.
We're going to record it and document it for the podcast.
Yeah.
We are going to have a bachelor party.
Yeah.
So me, you, Dave Lay, Chris Michael, and that's the party right there. That's all you need.
Yeah.
So we will have
Technically, we've brought the party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We will throw your bachelor party in Kroger.
It'll be awesome.
It'll be awesome. So just let us know. Drop us a line. Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. Leave us a message on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And let us know.
Now,
and that's what we'll do.
Here's my fear.
Okay.
Is that most of our listeners are either A, already married,
right,
or B, will never find anyone.
Or in France.
Yeah. So
if our French guy wants to get married, please come to the United States and we will throw you a bachelor party and you will learn what it's like living here in the great
Here's
United
the deal.
States.
I will go one further on this one.
Okay.
If our French person wants to come here and get married in the Kroger,
right,
that's just down the road from us,
I'll walk his wife down aisle 4.
I will.
We'll get married in the Kroger.
I will
see what I did there?
I will find a minister, or I will become ordained myself.
Oh God!
And we will marry them in the Kroger.
Yes.
They just tell us which aisle they feel.
You'll be there. I'll be there. Dave Lay, Chris Michael. We will marry them.
Get married in the
Kroger.
in the nuts section or
the nuts
wherever.
Right there, next to the Tillamook cheese.
That's right.
Some summer sausage, some bone-sucking mustard.
You talk about some.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to do something with the Kro-bar.
Yes, we absolutely.
We got to set an end date. Like, okay, obviously, if anybody comes to us and wants to do it, we'll do it.
Right.
But we got to come up with something. It's got to happen this summer.
Okay.
It's got to be this summer.
This summer?
In my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, between now and this, if it doesn't happen by July something, then we have an Irritable Dad Syndrome meeting there.
Yeah.
Like you, me, Dave, we film it, we get schnockered.
Yeah.
And then we go buy some Klondike bars or whatever people do in Kroger. I'm going to recreate the guy with the wine walking with the one arm behind his back.
Okay.
And I'm going to judge people.
Yeah.
I'm going to swirl the wine and I'm going to look and say, "Oh, you're buying white bread."
Maybe we can get the guy who calls me buddy to be the ring bearer.
Maybe we can go up to the store manager and say, "What happened to the security guard you guys had at the other Kroger? What happened to him? I always like saying hi to him, fist bumping him. He's gone. What'd you do with him? You remember him?
Yeah.
He's not there.
You're right.
Where'd he go?
Absolutely.
Don't need security to do Kroger? Seems to me like you got more real estate to manage."
No, he wasn't the security guy. He was the manager.
Well, he was the manager?
He was like the store manager.
Dude, I thought he was a security guy.
No.
Oh.
Okay, for people who... Okay.
The guy that fist bumped you.
Okay, here's a segment that, and Mike and I just talk about things that only we know about.
It's just local as hell.
At this Kroger, the manager of the store, this African-American guy.
Yeah, he's the manager.
He was awesome. He stood in the front of the store, and any person, he had earrings.
Yes.
Any person who walked in the store, "How you doing?" Fist bump. Bang. Yeah. Having a great day. Bam. Bring it in. And he greeted you with the fist bump.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know. Let's bring him back.
Yeah.
Let's invite him. Exactly. If anybody we have like 1-2 listeners in this area besides us.
Right.
If you know who that is or how to get a hold of him, let's have a Kroger party with him.
Oh, we've got to get him back.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He might be ordained. Maybe he could marry somebody at Kroger.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. So we're having the bachelor party and the wedding at Kroger
If the French guy comes,
Right.
or French lady, I don't know anything
right.
about the French person.
Mhm.
If they come, we're marrying them in the Kroger.
Might as well have the honeymoon.
They're not
there,
marrying us. We're already married.
Right.
Bring whoever you're marrying.
Right.
Or we'll get schnockered and we'll go find somebody in the Kroger for him to marry, and then we'll go marry him in the cheese section.
Oh, and like a secret.
The Bachelor.
We will find your
Bachelorette.
We will find your love for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
In Kroger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over by the milk.
Oh, Chris Hughes is cheap enough to get married just for the free party. That sounds about right.
We could have the reception at there's a Chipotle in the same parking lot. We could have a reception at Chipotle. If it's in the summer, summer, because the when you're talking COVID, that's another thing, is that we both got our COVID vaccines today.
I was going to say, hey guys, but this is real.
Yeah.
Mike and I both got our COVID vaccines today.
Yeah, I still have my.
See, I didn't even get a Band-Aid.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Mike and I, because we're podcasters, we get preferential treatment, and we both got our first COVID vaccine.
Well, it's because this is an essential job.
Yes. Did you get your Pfizer or did you get the Moderna?
I got the Pfizer.
I got the Pfizer too.
Yeah.
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 So
I thought it was Pfizer. Was the other one
Moderna, and then there's the Hormel,
Johnson & Johnson,
the Hormel, which I thought I was gonna. This was the only one I could get.
Yeah.
So yeah, we both got our.
They couldn't fit the beans in the syringe for me.
We both got our COVID vaccines today. So
Shot one.
Did you get scheduled for your second one?
Yeah, April 10th.
I got scheduled the same day.
Holy shit!
I know.
We should have. Yeah. Well, okay. So
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was looking at my Facebook and I saw you posted your picture. Ooh,
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm getting my COVID shot.
Yeah.
And I was mad.
Yeah.
Like,
you sent me some angry texts.
Why is Mike getting his before me? I'm 5 years older than you.
Yeah. Let me quote one of your texts here.
Here's the thing.
How did you get your what you wrote was
you so damn
what
special?
you wrote was how did you get your vaccine already?
Right.
But what you meant was how did you get your vaccine already?
Well, no, because
that's the same thing that Bess said to me.
Mm-hmm.
Bess got mad.
Right.
Okay, so at where I work now, the EH&S person, the safety person, said if you go to Walgreens, everyone here is an essential worker.
Right. And that's fantastic. Right.
So I signed up at Walgreens and I told Bess, hey, I got the thing. Her first response was very similar to yours. How did you get it? Like, what the hell?
I was in Tennessee last week.
Yeah.
And I got the thing on the phone that said that in Ohio, any people who live in Ohio who are 50 or 50 plus are eligible for it. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to make some calls while I was dealing with other things while I was in Tennessee. Yeah. So I thought as soon as I get home, I'm going to, get on the horn and figure it out. So yesterday I hit wall after wall. I tried Walgreens and I couldn't get scheduled. I tried through the Christ Hospital, could not get scheduled. I could not do through TriHealth. I could not do through, I tried two other places.
Okay.
And I just could not get it anywhere. And I'm like, I got, I was like,
BW3s, you try them? I heard they got a good one.
I was at the Chick-fil-A, the drive-thru. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, lane 3. They're the ones that you get to, go ahead.
So today I thought, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Every person is trying to get this online. Every person is trying to phone and get it, which is why that no one's answering the phones. Because
so you just go.
I just went. So I went to the pharmacy at Kroger.
Okay.
And I walked in and I said, and I thought maybe I'll get lucky.
Yeah.
And I was asking the nice lady there, I said, I was wondering if I could schedule my COVID vaccine. And she says, we're not scheduling anything here. You have to go on the website. And if there's too many people, then you'll just have to keep trying again. The pharmacist walks up to her and he says, we've got one extra one because I guess somebody didn't show up. And
somebody couldn't figure out the website.
Right. And so she looks at me, she goes, come around to the window.
Boom.
And I couldn't fill out the form fast enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so, and for everyone out there who's trying to get it, who can't, I'm not bragging. And it's like, if you're having trouble getting yours, I apologize. But I mean, I really, really lucked out because I happened to be the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
and I was very lucky, and I'm extremely happy that I got it. It's also a very coincidental that you got it on the same day.
So best was like, how did you figure that? How did you get it? I was like,
right.
How many times have I gotten U2 tickets? I got Tool tickets when they were selling out in like 5 minutes.
Right.
If there's a ticket, even if it's for a vaccine, I'll find a way to get it.
Exactly. So
anyway,
there you go.
But yeah, so like, okay, so from what I understand is the first shot gets you to 80%, whatever that is, immunity.
Right.
Within 10 days. Okay. It's just a friend of mine, our mutual friend Fancher, texted that.
Yes.
Or sent that. So I know it's probably not linear. It's probably not 8% a day until you get to 80% in the 10 days. But just for shits and giggles, I'm going to say that.
Okay.
So right now, you and I are likely 8% immune.
Right.
So we could go lick 8%. By the way, I thought I was being funny. The lady that gave it to me, I was like, so does this mean I can go lick doorknobs? And she's just like, what is it about doorknobs?
Right.
And she's like, you're the second guy today, that has asked if he can go out and lick doorknobs. And then I couldn't help it. I just pointed to the one in the room because we're in the room. I was like, that one looks pretty tasty.
They're delicious.
She said, I would not. She's like, look. She's like.
And she answered your question.
She did answer, like, she laughed. But she did answer seriously, which I thought I would pass this along, because I want to make be full disclosure. She said, look, just because you get the vaccine doesn't mean that you can't get it.
Right.
She says, if you do get it, it's more likely. She's like, you're much less likely to get it. Mm-hmm. And if you do contract it, it'll be much less destructive to you. She's like, you won't be hospitalized. You won't do ventilator or whatever. It'll feel like a cold or something like that if you get it after, you know. She's like, the first one takes you to, she didn't give me a percentage. She's like, the first one takes you most of the way there. She said, by the time you're done with your second one, you're 95 to 98% immune. I was like, okay.
Right. And they've made the change now in Ohio to where everyone who's had both vaccines can gather publicly without masks.
Yeah. And I'm
even
sure.
Even though, I don't really mind the mask.
Yeah.
But so.
I was thinking, I don't know if because it's been a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the, I watch Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and all them, and they've all had their 1 year coronaversary.
Right.
Which are hilarious.
Coronaversaries. Nice.
And it's odd that it's a year because I remember when it hit where I worked, I was involved heavily with the corona response, how we were going to respond, how we're going to continue business because we were an essential business.
Right.
That was a nightmare. Yeah. And to think that was only a year ago.
Yeah.
And I remember the scientists at the time, that's when Fauci became like a household name.
Yeah.
I remember he said it would be about a year before we start having widespread inoculations. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this for a year? It didn't seem right.
Well,
But here it is. It's been a year. And
I was in North Carolina visiting my brother-in-law and his lovely wife, Gina Pennington, who's a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
And when we came back, I had a call from my boss.
Okay.
He says, hey, you might want to call me before you come back to work Monday. And like, that doesn't sound good. And I thought, what happened while I was gone, And he told me the whole plan that they were making arrangements for people to work at home. And they were very cool. And they said, whatever you need, any computer equipment that you need, take it and bring it home.
Okay.
And I thought it was going to be for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, we're going to work from home for a few months until it was like we're going to get over we're going to stop the curve. Well, not stop the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Stop the curve.
Yeah.
Darin, we're going to stop that curve. So we're going to flatten the curve. And then I had no idea that I would be in my dining room and see all 4 seasons out my window.
Yeah.
And sure enough.
I got to tell you, I was quarantined for 2 weeks because it was unclear. There was a period there. I mean, this is going to seem weird to people listening to this now or definitely in the future. A, what are you doing? Listen to this in the future. But B, there was a time there where you didn't know. Like there were people saying this is nothing.
Yes.
You quit whining about it. And there are other people like this is the Walking Dead plague.
Right.
Right. And you didn't really know what was going on.
Right.
You didn't know what the symptoms meant. Anytime there's a disease or something like that, you hear things like if it's a cold or the flu, you're going to feel crappy for a few days and then you're going to get better. But the question was, what are the lasting effects? You don't know. So it was a big unknown.
Yeah.
So
this is turning into a serious podcast.
It will, just for a minute. Just for a minute.
You need to fart or something.
I'm going to fart here soon.
Bring the mood down.
There was a period there where I had symptoms of, I think it was the cold or whatever.
Right.
So I had to quarantine here for 2 weeks.
Right.
And it was insane for me. So I know you're still going, like you work from home.
Yes.
I've learned that I can't work from home because I can't turn it off. So when I go to work, when I go to an office or whatever, and I come back, sure, I'll answer the phone or an email here and there. But when you're working from home, it's like you're always working. You're always on.
It does.
And that was 2 weeks of my life. It feels now, looking back, like it was about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
So
no, I know
it's almost over.
My wife and I, we have gotten along fantastically, honestly. And I know people who work from home who are not getting along fantastically.
The Shining is starting to look like a documentary.
Spouse, like, would you shut up? It's like, boy, you chew gum a lot.
Yeah.
I know people that are just not happy working at home.
Yeah.
We've been doing great.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more thankful for that.
Yeah.
And, I've been lucky because there are a lot of people who are not able to work from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, Yeah.
I'm in those weird situations where because you were asking in your pleasant text to me, why are you an essential worker? Which technically I am because it's essential that I'm there. But if something happens, I have the ability to do at least 30 to 40% of my job from the house. So it's like, it's weird, but it's like there's, I'd be telling someone else to do what I would be doing, which is weird.
Right.
But anyway, so that was the serious part of the podcast.
There you go.
That went dark fast. I feel like we brought that up to say something. The reason I brought all that up, the COVID from the beginning, was that the latest that I heard was that around July, assuming people get their vaccinations and we go through all this stuff, July 4th may be the first normal holiday.
Right.
That was Fauci said that.
Yeah.
It was like it may be back to normal. So that's why I was saying the Kro-bar extravaganza could certainly happen in July.
Right.
I wouldn't feel guilty. I would feel guilty right now telling a bunch of hooligans to descend upon the Kro-bar and get schnackered and go touch the cheese.
Right.
But in July, I don't think I would feel guilty about that.
Get schnackered and touch the cheese.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite band is Southern Culture on the Skids, and they've got a new album out.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, really good.
Is it called Get Schnackered and Touch the Cheese?
It's called At Home with Southern Culture on the Skids.
Okay.
Very good album.
Okay.
I love these guys. The last concert I saw before the world stopped, because of coronavirus, was them.
Okay.
In Newport.
Wow.
And they were phenomenal.
Okay.
Absolutely great. They've never sounded better. They've been around for 30 years now.
Yeah.
And they've never sounded better.
Yeah.
So I was on their website when I was pre-ordering the CD. They've got new tour dates.
Oh,
so they're like in September.
Yeah.
They're gonna start touring, hitting clubs again.
Okay.
So it looks like things are starting to get back into the swing of things, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely awesome. And then for people, one of the things on the rundown that I'm going to mention, I'm wearing my Metallica shirt.
That was an awesome show.
Facebook Memories comes up a couple of days ago, and there's pictures of me and you and Fanch and the other people that we went with to the Metallica show.
Yep.
But I heard a quote at the Metallica show that I just have to repeat.
Okay.
There's a woman at the show, and I overheard her talking to one of her girlfriends, and she said, and I quote, "When I drink wine, I get sleepy. When I drink margaritas, I get chatty. And when I drink martinis, I want to have a baby." There you go. Awesome, honey. Well, listen, this is going to wrap up episode 29. I want to thank all the listeners out there for tuning in. Thanks to all the people on the Twitch.
Yeah.
We want to encourage you to go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and subscribe to the show. And
should we mention the Textual Tension? Did we already talk about that?
Oh, yeah. We appeared on an episode of Textual Tension.
Today, just now.
We recorded it before we recorded this episode. It's going to drop on April 6th.
Yes.
So you can
on their episode.
On their episode. And don't watch it with your kids.
Darin gets a little lippy in it.
We have Quacker, the cursing duck.
Yeah.
Who well, especially Mike's the one who curses all the time. Whenever a cuss word slips in, Quacker, the cursing duck, jumps in and censors us.
Makes it Disney friendly.
They are not Disney friendly.
No. They are the Cinemax to our HBO.
Oh my god, Cinemax After Dark.
Yeah.
To our PBS.
Skinemax, as it were. Yeah.
So, and we'll mention it again, but yeah, their show is dirty.
Well, they're talking about romance novels.
There's no romance in the novel
there's
we
not
were talking
really.
about.
No.
So
it's about a vampire and a thing.
Anyway, so if you want to hear Mike and I chatting with a couple of ladies about romance novels, you check it out. Oh my God. That episode of their show is going to be on April 6th.
Yep. What the hell?
How drunk am I? That episode of their show will be April 6th. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That will let you know about when we're going live, because we do record the show live. There's not a studio audience, but we are live on Twitch.
Right.
So you can, all 4 listeners, but you can be part of the show when you do that. And as we, get more people in, we'll do more with that. But for now, just check us out there. Go to our website, listen now, all those things. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you're listening to us. Leave a review. Those things really, really, really do help. Like our stuff. And in general, just be pleasant people.
Yeah.
Don't be jerks.
Yeah.
Like Darin.
Hey.
Have a good one.
This wraps up another stellar episode. If you disagree with anything Mike or Darin have said, send your complaint to Irritable Dad Syndrome, P.O. Box 1472, Westchester, Ohio 45071.